getting pretty late in the summer, not quite fall, but it's time to start thinking about those fall plans for our lawns. Now, you're going to hear a lot of things to do in the fall for your grass, but you really got to know which grass type you have, because if you're a cool season lawn, your playbook is going to look totally different than a warm season lawn like this with Bermuda. Right now, into August, heading into the 1st of September, I'm only really doing one thing, but there's a handful of reasons why I'm doing it. Let's talk about them. Aeration, dethatching, overseeding, all fantastic lawn tips for the fall, but not for Bermuda grass. Those apply to cool season lawns, because as the fall approaches and our days get shorter and our temperatures start to cool off, we're not there yet, the vigorous growth of our Bermuda grass is going to start slowing down, and we are not going to be undertaking any major projects in the lawn. We're starting to think about putting it to bed. We're not quite there yet, but I have started my late summer, early fall lawn tip. It's just one, and all I'm simply doing is raising my height of cut, and I'm doing that for several beneficial reasons. Hey, look, y'all, I appreciate you being here on the channel. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Budget Lawns. If you like this video and it helps you at all, you might find it mildly entertaining, please give me a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Well, our first reason for raising the height of cut, especially on this front lawn, which is Bermuda grass sod that is not even quite 2 months old, but it applies to the back lawn as well, is because you wouldn't want to go out in the middle of winter on a really cold, icy, or snowy day without a coat, right? Yeah, I wouldn't either. So I'm raising my height of cut to give the grass, the crowns of the grass in particular, a nice coat of insulation to go into the winter with. We get some pretty rough winter weather at times here in the northern part of Arkansas, and I want to make sure that this has enough padding in the jacket to not have any damage coming out of winter next spring. So just slowly bringing it up a little bit, not doing it all at once, just a notch at a time on the manual reel mower here in the front lawn, and in the back lawn doing it just really one wheel at a time over the next couple weeks until we finally get that height that we want to finish at going into winter. For the front yard, I'm probably going to stop somewhere around the 1.5 inch mark for back here in the back. Probably be around 2.5 inches with the rotary lawnmower. But man, it's looking pretty darn good. But that brings us to the second reason why I'm starting to raise my height of cut. Since the summer scalp, about probably a little over a month ago, we're starting to see more and more rings in the lawn from the rotary mower. It is just thick. We have had prime conditions for growing Bermuda grass over the last couple of weeks. No rain, lots of heat and humidity, just sending it into overdrive. But you can really start to see a lot of those donuts from the lawnmower back here, and by slowly raising the height of cut one wheel at a time, I think we can get these to become just a little bit less noticeable. I mentioned it's been hot, and when I say hot, I'm talking about heat index values every day for the last week between 110 and 115 degrees, and no rain in the forecast. We've had little slight chances the past few days, thought there were going to be better chances tomorrow. Those have since dwindled a pinch, so we'll just wait and see. But the hot, dry conditions, another reason why I'm slowly raising my height of cut. I have been able to water just a pinch during the week when I get out of school from my day as a teacher, and a little bit on the weekends, but I don't have the time to water quite as heavily as I did over the summer. So just by raising that height of cut a little bit, making that canopy real thick from lots of mowing, it's really shading the soil. So any water that I put down into the lawn. That thick canopy is really helping to keep that moisture there for as long as possible, keeping me from having to water as much. I haven't put down a really good soaking on this over the last week or so with these hot, dry conditions, and you can see a little bit taller, really thick, staying nice and green regardless. I mean, that's thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. Gosh, rotary mode. Folks, I have put down 2 rounds of triple 10 fertilizer this season. Absolutely 0 other supplements. Watered it, mowed it, fertilized it, spot sprayed some weeds. If I were you and I spent lots of money this summer, I would probably be down on myself in shame with tons of buyer's remorse. But I digress. Hey, back to school, the fall's approaching. That can only mean one thing: the return of college football is near. And that brings me to my last reason why I am raising my height of cut. Over the summer when I'm on summer vacation, yeah, I've got a lot more time in the bank and I can mow more frequently, but now I'm trying to stretch out that time in between mowings, and one way to do that is leaving the grass just a little bit taller. Leaving it taller keeps me from breaking that old 1/3 rule as easily, and it keeps the green on the grass instead of looking at brown stalks. So yeah, it hurts to kind of part ways with the short turf after a long, successful season, but as we start wrapping things up, raising the height of cut, it's going to be better for it in the long run. Here shortly, we'll get into some more fall lawn tips. I think I'm also going to call an audible for this fall. I'm going to go ahead and do some planting on this side of the house with some plants that are more winter lovers, and that will put me just a step ahead to start next spring. But hey y'all, that's going to do it for this episode of Budget Lawns. I appreciate you joining me as always. I hope to see you next time.